This setting and subsequent road scenes are played in front of a traveler curb, or if one is not feasible, in front of the regular stage curtain, with characters using the entrances down right and down left. Note, for various tips and suggestions on general staging, be sure to consult production notes at back of playbook. Down right, a performer costume to represent a tree's position, and behind the tree stands a tin woodsman with his axe held high. When the lights fade up, we hear the barking of Toto from off down left. Okay. You can be Dorothy.
Not so fast, Toto! We're having trouble keeping up! That does not sound like a Dorothy voice. More barking, and Toto runs on from down left, followed by Dorothy and the Scarecrow, who has obviously learned how to walk better, although he still has a tendency to wobble from time to time. I hope we'll find the wizard at home. We have to find the Emerald City first. Scarecrow looks at the ground. We shouldn't have any trouble if we follow the yellow bricks here on the ground. That's good thinking. Is it? I never know. We ought to go and search for water. Why? To wash my face after all this dust on the road. Besides, I'm thirsty. Tisk tisk. It must be inconvenient to be made of flesh. You have to eat and drink and wash. It takes a lot of work to be a human being. However, you have brains. It's worth a lot to bother to be able to think properly. The Tin Woodsman line is... What was that? I didn't hear anything. I'm sure I heard something. Some wind in the trees, maybe?
Tin Woodsman line.
There it is again.
Ellie, bark. Oh, okay.
Toto barks, runs over to the tree. He discovers the Tin Woodsman. Barks again. Oh dear, I've never seen anything quite like this. What is it? It's a man, and he's made all of tin. And the Tin Woodsman says, "Okay. That's terrible. What can I do?" You poor thing. It would help if you moved out where the light is better. Scarecrow will help. Of course. He moves to Tin Woodsman, his legs and arms going a bit rubbery. You'll be feeling better in no time. Scarecrow and Dorothy, one on each side, guide the Tin Woodsman to the center. Toto stays by tree. Tin Woodsman moves stiffly, as if in great pain, moaning. What's first? Music Q5.
Then we
That's
sing
wonderful.
a song.
Tin Woodsman sings his glorious song.
Cool.
At the end of the song, he speaks. Scarecrow begins his line with, "We're on our way to the Emerald City to see the wizard. I want him to send me back to Kansas, and the Scarecrow wants him to put brains in his head. Brains could be very useful, I think." Why, I guess so. It wouldn't hurt to ask. I don't know. But then I don't know. Oops. Scarecrow. I don't know. You do Scarecrow, Ryan.
I didn't know, but then I don't know much about anything.
Tin Men.
I'll ask for brains instead of a heart because a fool wouldn't know what to do with a heart if he had one.
I wish I knew which one of you was right. Let's leave it up to the wizard.
That's a good idea, Dorothy.
Dorothy moves down right to the Emerald City. Dorothy exits, followed by Scarecrow and the Tin Woodsman. Toto barks in the distance. Suddenly the lights darken. The Forest of the...
Act 1, Scene 3.
Setting. The Forest of the Fighting Trees. When lights come up, we discover Fighting Trees 1 and 2 standing center. From off right, we hear Dorothy, Scarecrow, and the Woodsman happily singing Follow the Road a cappella, then enter Toto with them. How long will it be before we meet the wizard? I wonder.
Tin Woodsman line. I hope we won't meet anything scary like that Wicked Witch of the West. And I'm just stuffed with straw, so nothing can hurt me.
And Glinda the Good said her blessing would protect me from harm. But what about Toto? What will protect him?
What was that?
Maybe it's our imaginations.
It sounds like a fierce lion. There.
What?
Wow.
Tin Woodsman line?
I think I'm going to faint.
Oh, stop that! Stop that, you wicked lion! Toto springs into the defense when the lion rears and Dorothy and goes to swipe her with his paw. Lion turns on Toto. Toto, overcome with fear, whimpers. Whimper. Don't you dare bite Toto! You ought to be ashamed of yourself, a big beast like you, trying to bite a poor dog. Lion says, I didn't bite him. No, but you tried to.
You didn't have to hit me. You hurt my little nose.
Why are you making such a big fuss?
You hit me on my little nose. It stings.
You're nothing but a big coward.
I know, but how can I help it?
To think of your striking a stuffed man like the poor Scarecrow.
Oh, thank you, Dorothy. He did give me quite a fright.
Toto, go and get the Tin Woodsman. Bark.
What makes you a coward? I suppose I was born that way. All the other animals in the forest accept me to be brave because the lion is supposed to be the king of the beasts. As long as I keep roaring, no one seems to notice I really don't have any courage. Do you have brains? I suppose so. I've never looked.
We're going to see the Wizard of Oz and ask his help. Perhaps he can help you.
How? I'm going to ask for some brains. I don't have any. My head is stuffed with straw.
And I'm going to ask him to send Toto and me back to Kansas. Tin Woodsman line.
Do you think Oz could give me courage? Just as easily as he could give me brains.
Or send me back to Kansas.
Then if you don't mind, I'll go with you. Life ain't much without a little bit of courage. Then he sings a song.
And keeps going and going. And then Dorothy at the end of the song goes, Oh, poor lion, don't be embarrassed, but come on, we've got a long way to go.
Let's skip.
They skip off. Dorothy says, We must have walked for miles and miles.
I hope the wizard will welcome us.
Wicked Witch, unnoticed, tiptoes back in the right. You be the Wicked Witch. Stands behind Fighting Tree alone. Get behind me. Tin Woodsman says, Oh!
That's not what...
Dorothy. Goodness! How you carry on? What's the trouble? Tin Woodsman says, Lion.
Okay. Never fear. I'll cover you with my feline fur. You may think of me as an umbrella. Yuck, yuck. Well, I'm sorry that happened, but are we going to stand here all day, or are we going on with our journey?
Wicked Witch backs off right, motioning her hands again like an orchestra director.
This can be a dangerous forest when it wants to be. I wouldn't want to be here at night.
Listen.
It's pretty, whatever it is.
It's a lullaby.
Makes me sleepy. Why not?
Tin Woodsman.
Don't be silly. A little nap never hurt anyone.
Toto rolls over on his back, legs up in the air. And then the Tin Woodsman says, Dorothy says, "Look at those flowers! Aren't they lovely?" Tin Woodsman yawns. Dorothy says, "They're so bright, and they sing so sweetly."
Betty bye. If I get back to Kansas, I'll plant some of these flowers.
Auntie Em would love them.
Well, maybe just a short.
Nope, that's Tin
Never
Woodsman
mind.
line.
Tin Woodman line.
If I get back to Kansas, I'll plant some of these flowers. Auntie Em would love them. Good night. Good night. They are all asleep. The lullaby of the poppies continues. The Wicked Witch. That's right, my dears. Sleep, sleep. I just spit it away.
Skip down here.
Dorothy says, "Goodness, I feel as if I've slept for hours." Toto barks. Woo! Tin Woodsman says.
You call that funny?
Tin Woodsman says.
After that snooze, I could walk all the day and all night.
Goodness,
What's wrong now?
the lovely flowers. They're not here anymore. Tin Woodsman says. Dorothy says, "This is certainly the strangest forest I've ever been in."
Let's get out of here. I'm scared.
There's nothing to be scared of.
Oh, yeah?
Thunder and lightning.
Get down, get down. Tin Woodsman.
I don't know, but it's gotten awfully dark.
My goose flesh has goosebumps.
We'll take hands and walk slowly.
Let's.
They walk. Lion says.
Was that the tree there before?
More thunder and lightning. Fighting trees move up. The group approaches the fighting tree. One begins to lash out with its branches, striking Dorothy. Oh, stop that! Run! Fighting tree one advances on them, forcing them to turn and... Let go of me! You'll leave Dorothy alone. You're not running my tree! Get that branch out of my face! Ah!
Etc.
That is
Act
enough.
1, Scene 4.
On the road to the Emerald City, played in front of the curtain. When the lights come up, we discover China Princess. Consult production notes for costume suggestion. Standing downright, her face hands are painted white, and she stands stiff and proper, as if she were afraid to move one way or another. Music cues. China Princess underscores dialogue. China Princess says to audience, "China is most fragile, like a teacup or a saucer, or a dainty figurine on a shelf. Do not chip me, do not break me, leave me quite alone." Dorothy says, "We must be getting close to the Emerald City."
I'm not so sure.
Tin Man says,
I hope we don't run into anything like those fighting trees again.
"If we hadn't been able to make it to the edge of the forest, they would have had us. We would never have gotten away."
Oh, Dorothy, don't even think like things like that.
And Toto jumps center, barks at China Princess. China Princess says, "China is most fragile, like a teacup or a saucer, or a daintily figure on a shelf. Do not chip me, do not break me, leave me quite alone.
Who's that?
I am the China Princess of the dainty China country. Everyone here is breakable. Take care, take care." Tin Man says, Look around, but if you break anything, you wouldn't be able to leave it until you pay for it." They look out over the heads of the audience as if the country were in the back of the theater.
She's quite right. Look at the walls. They're trimmed with egg cups and little statues. And china sugar bowls.
Don't get too close. You may cause a crack, and that would make me foolish.
I'm pleased to see someone else can be foolish. I thought I was the only one.
We're on our way to the Emerald City.
We just escaped from the forest of the fighting trees.
No one escapes from the forest of the fighting trees. And the Tin Man says, Then you are most unusual. And Dorothy says, No more unusual than you are. Why, you're the first talking plate I've ever met. Isn't she pretty? I'm not a plate. I'm a princess. Anyway, you're getting too close. Stand back. Do not chip me. Do not break me. Leave me quite alone. If you break me, my delicate beauty will be marred and you will not be able to leave. Dorothy says, You really are so beautiful. I'd like to take you back to Kansas with me and stand you on Aunt Em's mantle. That would be lovely. That would make me a bit unhappy.
But why?
You see, here in our own country, we live contentedly and can talk and move around as we please. It isn't much fun sitting on mantels and cabinets and dining room tables. Why, we won't make you unhappy for all the world, would we? Why do you want to go to the Emerald City? It's a long story. You can't go through the dainty China country unless you have my permission. Please.
Oh yes, please, please, we have to see the wizard.
Including Tin Man says, On one condition. What is that? The citizens of the dainty China country are so brittle, you mustn't touch them. Do not chip them, do not break them, leave them quite alone.
We promise.
I believe you. Walk this way. Stiffly.
I'm glad I'm made of straw and can be easily damaged. And can't be easily damaged. There are worse things in the world than being a scarecrow.
How true. Curtain. Act 1, Scene 5, setting. Palace of the Great Wizard Boss. Dorothy, Guardian 1, Dorothy, Guardian 1. Oh no, I'll call them in. It's all right, you can come in.
Which one is Oz?
No, these are the Guardians of the Gate, Tin Man says.
We've never seen a Tin Woodsman before, so there. Tin Woodsman says...
And then Tin Woodsman says to Dorothy, Don't be silly. Does the wizard ever come out? Guardian 2 says, Never.
What does he do with himself all day long?
He sits behind the screen. What's it like?
That is hard to say. Oz is so great a wizard that he can take on any form he wishes.
Ooh. We never had anything like that in Kansas.
Some say he looks like a bird. A bird?
Some say he looked like an elephant, Tin Man says.
And some says he looked like a cat.
Hush, Toto. To others he appears as a ball of burning flame.
He's scaring me. Let's get out of here. Oh, oh, oh.
Courage, Lion, courage.
But you know I don't have any. Something terrible is going to happen if we stay here. I know it. Oh, oh, oh.
You mean no one knows what the real wizard looks like?
Who the real Oz is? When he is in his own form, no living person can tell.
Then he really is a great wizard.
Let's get out of here.
It's okay, Lion. We're not in any danger. Why do they call this place the Emerald City? Silly child, because everything is the color of green. It doesn't look green to me.
That's because you're not looking through green-colored glasses.
You're right. Everything is green.
Tin Woodsman. Why do you wish to see Oz?
I want him to send me back to Kansas.
I want him to give me some brains.
And Tin Woodsman says,
I want him to give me some courage.
Oz could do all that easily. Delighted with this news, they jump up and down in glee, skip about in a circle, and they ad-lib, "Oh, that's wonderful, 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 wonderful! What a marvelous wizard! Oh, hooray for Oz!" etc.
Top of page 26. Or if he turns into that elephant and steps on us. What's an elephant? It's like a mouse with big ears, only much larger.
And the Tin Woodsman says. And Dorothy says, "I haven't come all this way to turn my back on him." Guardian 1 steps in from behind the screen, marches to Dorothy. Scarecrow says,
Look, he's coming back.
What thing? It is not supposed to. Top of page 28, Oz says, "Silence!"
Step forward, Tin Woodsman.
And the Tin Woodman, gulping in fear, says, "What do you seek from the great and powerful Oz, you miserable pile of clanking junk?" And the Tin Woodsman says, "Silence!" Tin Woodsman scurries back to others on his knees. "Step forward, Scarecrow!" And Dorothy says, "Go on!" "Oh, go on! Tell him what you want!" Scarecrow says.
Don't worry, we're your friends.
Tin Woodsman says. The Lion says.
Oh, it's good to have friends. It's such a lovely day. Why don't we all go out and have a nice picnic?
"Come back here, you wretched coward!"
That's great, Wizard. I am a coward, a cowardly lion. I come to you to beg that you give me courage so I can become the king of the beasts as men call me.
Enough!
Will you grant our requests?
In this country, everyone must pay for what they want. If you wish me to use my magic powers to help you, you must first help me.
But what can we do to help someone as great and powerful as you?
Destroy the power of the Wicked Witch of the West.
The Wicked Witch?
That's impossible!
No,
Not the Wicked Witch of the West! How can we do that?
You destroyed the Wicked Witch of the East. You can destroy the Wicked Witch of the West.
If you can't destroy the power of the Wicked Witch, how do you expect us to do it?
That's your problem.
That's not fair.
Oz has spoken. Like squelch.
Oh, Dorothy, what are we going to do now? I'll never get my brain. I'll never have courage.
Tin Woodman says.
Now stop it, all of you, isn't it? It isn't going to do any good to stand around and complain. That never gets anything done.
Well, what are we going to do?
There's only one thing we can do.
What?
Find the Wicked Witch of the West and destroy her power.
But we don't even know where she lives. I hear she lives beyond the land of the winged monkeys.
And the Tin Woodsman says.
No telling what the wicked old witch might do. I don't even like to think about it.
And Dorothy says.
I know you're all afraid and I don't want to go, but if we don't take the chance, you'll never change and I'll never get home. Don't you see, we have to believe in ourselves and trust each other.
Dorothy's right. What kind of friends would we be if we didn't go? Gee, Dorothy, you sure got a lot of courage. I don't know how much help I'll be. I'm such a fool.
Tin Woodsman says.
Then we sing a song.
We'll be all long as we stay together.
End of Act 1. Act 2. Scene 1.
Guardian 1 says.
This is as far as we can go.
But where's the road?
There is no road. No one ever wishes to go to the castle of the Wicked Witch of the West.
Who will we ever find? How will we ever find?
That will be easy. When she knows you are in her domain, she will find you and make you all her slaves. Slaves? Oh.
Tin Woodman says.
Let's go back. Nice
Toto
booch.
growls.
Nice booch.
Dorothy says.
Perhaps she won't make us her slaves after all. We mean to destroy her power.
Take care. She's wicked and clever
To the west, where the sun sets, and you'll find her, Tin Woodman says.
That way.
We'll escort you. And the monkeys. Enter monkeys stage right!
Bottom of 34.
Which monkeys?
A feisty crow you will learn in the castle of no return.
Which?
Yeah!
In the castle of no return.
And the monkeys.
Yeah!
Voices off stage down left. Tin Woodman's voice. Lion's voice.
I thought I saw a bee! I thought I saw a crow!
We better keep our eyes open.
Tin Woodman says. Lion says.
You don't think the Wicked Witch knows we're on our way? Oh!
What now?
I just scared myself thinking about her. Listen,
Tin Woodman says.
I know it sounds silly, but it sounded like
Tin Woodman says.
a monkey.
A monkey?
Not only that, I think I...
To show some courage.
But you don't remember what I told you. The Wicked Witch of the West.
Says.
Because here they come.
Monkeys, winged monkeys, somebody do something.
Help! Etc.
Run this way, run.
Toto barks at monkeys. Lion says.
Wait for me, Dorothy. I want
Monkey.
my mama. I want my mama.
Monkey 2 has a watering cannon and approaches the Tin Man, who stands downright petrified, and Tin Woodsman says. Scarecrow says.
Leave my friend alone. Tin Woodsman says.
Monkeys pull straw from the Scarecrow, and the Tin Woodsman says. And then
Leave that
Monkey 2
straw.
continues to threaten Tin Man Woodman, forcing him to offstage, letting water sprinkle from the can. Scarecrow.
Leave that straw alone. Get away. Get away. My straw. Oh my. Get away.
Act 2, Scene 2.
Top of 42.
Wicked Witch. Dorothy says.
If you don't stop making those horrid faces, you'll get wrinkles.
This only infuriates the witch all the more. She clenches up all the tighter.
Won't you please tell me what you've done to Scarecrow and the Tin Woodsman?
And the Wicked Witch says.
First the slippers and then the answers.
I've told you 100 times. I promised Glinda I'd never take them off.
Very well, my dear. Let's see how well your friends are doing without you.
She raises one arm high. Sounds of thunder and lightning flicker and dim. Tin Woodsman enters upright. Like a character in a dream, his axe is held over his shoulder.
It's the Tin Woodsman.
And the Tin Woodsman says.
Over here, I'm over here. Oh, it's so good to see you.
And the Tin Woodsman says.
Can't you see me? Can't you hear me? I'm over here.
And the Tin Woodman.
Why can't he see me? Why can't he hear me? Because he's really in here in my castle. You only think he is. It's magic. It's magic.
Act 2, Scene 3.
Ooh, help me. Someone help me. Tin Woodsman says. Where's Dorothy?
Tin Woodman says.
Ooh.
Tin Woodman says.
I'm getting weaker and weaker.
Tin Woodman says.
This is the way.
Monkeys say. Follow us. This is the way.
Tin Woodsman says.
Scarecrow says.
Who?
Tin Woodsman says.
Oh no.
Tin Woodsman says.
Help. Somebody
right here. We left him. You poor thing.
Tin Woodman says. Scarecrow says.
Dorothy? Did you say Dorothy?
Tin Woodman says. Swing the monkeys attack. Scarecrow says.
And me!
Dorothy crosses behind monkeys to Tin Woodman.
You mustn't blame them. They were under the evil spell of the Wicked Witch, but now they're free, and showed us how to get back here to help you.
Tin Woodman says.
You'll soon be all right.
She begins to oil his elbows, necks, knees, etc. And the Tin Woodman says. Row, row! Toto barks. Dorothy says.
Yes, we'll all be safe now.
Monkey One says.
Dorothy has destroyed the power of the Wicked Witch of the West!
The Wicked Witch is dead.
Tin Woodman says.
She melted when I threw a pail of water on her.
Tin Woodman says.
Not everyone is the same. There, that should do it.
Tin Woodman says.
The winged monkey showed me where the Wicked Witch kept her fresh straw.
Poor Scarecrow.
Tin Woodman says.
That's why I brought the straw. We'll stuff him back to life.
Then we'll return to the wizard.
Oh dear, oh my.
What's wrong?
That's an awful long journey, I'm afraid.
No need to worry. I'm a king of the winged monkeys, and I will have my people fly you to Oz.
I'll be in the Emerald City in minutes!
Tin Woodman says.
Let's hurry and fix Scarecrow so we can go.
We're coming!
Here we go! Hold on!
Yippee! We're going, we're flying monkeys.
Etc.
Everyone to Concord C for flying monkey departure.
Act 2, Scene 4.
Guardian 1, wait here. I'll see if he's in.
Lion, Scarecrow, and Tisman enter right.
What did he say? What did the wizard say?
Nothing yet. One of the guardians of the gates has gone to see if he's in.
I can hardly wait for my courage. My brains!
Tin Woodman says.
My return to Kansas. Toto's so happy.
Message from the great and powerful Oz. Yes?
Yes.
He says, come back tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
That's not fair. We did what he asked. He has to see us today.
Yes, we want to see Oz. I am Oz, the great and powerful. Why do you seek me?
Oh, goodness. You do have a habit of frightening people.
Why haven't you destroyed the power of the Wicked Witch of the West?
But I have. I melted her. She's gone. Forever.
I don't believe you.
I don't lie. The witch is gone, I tell you.
I was there. I saw that there's nothing left of her.
Tin Woodman says.
The winged monkeys can speak again, now that they're not under the power of the Wicked Witch.
We have come to claim your promise.
What promise?
You promised to send me back to Kansas when the power of the Wicked Witch was destroyed.
Toto walks to the screen suspiciously. He sniffs, then goes behind the screen. Scarecrow says.
And you promised to give me brains.
Tin Woodman says.
And you promised to give me courage. Come back tomorrow. I must have time to think.
Tin Woodman says.
We're not going to wait a day longer. You must keep your promises to us.
Suddenly behind the screen we hear furious growling and barking by Toto.
Get away!
Get away!
That's Toto.
He's with the wizard. Oh!
I see you.
Go away!
Come back tomorrow! Oz has spoken.
Who are you?
Page 51, top of page, Scarecrow says.
But I shall be very unhappy unless you give me brains. Anyone can have brains, Scarecrow. Nothing unique about that. It's how you use brains that counts. However, not everyone has the one thing that proves you can think deep thoughts. What's that?
A diploma with your name written on it. Oz extends the scroll. Scarecrow can hardly believe he is good fortune. Dorothy, Tin Man, and Lion push him forward. He takes the scroll and unrolls it, and he reads.
This certifies that Scarecrow has satisfactorily completed the course of study prescribed by the school committee for the magical land of Oz and is therefore entitled to this diploma. Thank you, thank you. This is a great responsibility. I want to think about it.
Scarecrow steps back, and Tin Man steps forward. Tin Man says, I think you are wrong to want a heart. It makes most people unhappy. Tin Man says, Very well, you shall have a heart. He pulls several cloth hearts from a pocket. Let's see which one suits you. This one looks right. How does it feel? Tin Woodman says.
Don't do that. You'll rust.
In the morning, I'll work this in with a soldering iron. But for now, this will do. He managed to stick the large heart on the Tin Woodman's chest with some tape or a pin, Tin Woodman says. Dorothy says.
He looks very kind.
Tin Woodman says.
Where's my courage?
You know, of course, that courage is always inside a person, so... He takes out a small bottle. I advise you to drink it as soon as possible. Personally, I think you have plenty of courage. All you need is confidence in yourself. There is no living thing that is not afraid when it faces danger. True courage is in facing danger when you are afraid.
He has plenty of what kind of courage already.
Lion drinks, making loud gulping noises, Tin Woodsman says.
Full of courage.
Now it's my turn.
Oz puts arm around Dorothy's shoulder, walks a few steps downstage so others can overhear. Citizens are intrigued with Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion. They're so busy with their new acquisitions that they don't notice Oz, Dorothy, and Toto. It was easy to make the Scarecrow and the Lion and the Tin Woodsman happy because they imagined I could do anything. But it will take more than imagination to carry you back to Kansas. I don't know how it can be done.
You've got to find a way.
Maybe in a few years I'll discover a way to make my balloon float again.
A few years? But I want to go now. Oh, please, you've got to do something.
Dorothy, what's wrong?
What's wrong? What's the trouble?
What's happened?
Etc. My powers aren't enough to carry Dorothy back to Kansas.
Oh my, Toto. What are we going to do?
I am sure I can show you a way to get back to Kansas.
Who is that?
Who could that be?
What a strange day this has been.
Etc.
It's Glinda, the Good Witch.
Glinda, I'm so glad to see you. Can you really show me a way to get back home?
If you're sure you want to go,
Yes, I do.
then you'd better say goodbye to your friend.
The Lion, the Tin Woodsman, and the Scarecrow are lined up right. Dorothy moves to them.
Will you be all right without me?
Of course, I don't have to be afraid ever again. Now that I have a diploma, there are all sorts of wonderful things I can do.
Tin Woodsman says.
Aww. Look, he's blushing. I never saw a tin can blush before.
Goodbye. I'll never forget you.
Tin Woodman delighted, and Scarecrow, and a touch sad.
Bye, Dorothy.
Tin Woodman says.
Don't forget us.
How could I? And don't any of you forget me.
Tin Woodsman says.
Never, never.
Glinda says.
Yes, it's real.
It's finally... I'm finally going home.
You're going home.